Once upon a time, long, long ago, there were two brothers, one rich, the other poor. On Christmas Eve, the poor brother had not a crumb of bread or a scrap of meat in his house. Desperate, he went to his rich brother to beg for something, anything, to celebrate Christmas in the name of God. The rich brother, who had been asked for help before, wasn't pleased to see him and said, "If you do exactly as I ask, I'll give you an entire flitch of bacon." The poor brother, with gratitude, agreed to do whatever was asked of him. "Very well, here's the flitch," said the rich brother, "but now you must go straight to hell." "I gave my word, and I'll stick to it," replied the poor man. Taking the flitch, he set off. He walked the entire day, and as night fell, he saw a bright light in the distance. "Perhaps this is the place," he thought, and turned toward it. He soon came upon an old man with a long white beard, chopping wood for the Christmas fire. "Good evening," said the poor man, holding the flitch. "And the same to you." "Where are you heading so late?" asked the old man. "Oh, I'm going to hell, if only I knew the way," answered the poor man. "Well, you're not far off," said the old man. "This is hell. When you get inside, they'll all want your flitch of bacon, meat's scarce in hell. But don't sell it unless you get the hand quern behind the door. Once you have it, come back, and I'll teach you how to use it. It's a good thing, this quern, it can grind nearly anything." Thanking the old man, the poor brother knocked at the devil's door. As soon as he entered, devils, large and small, crowded around him like ants. Each one outbid the next for his flitch of bacon. "Well," said the poor brother, "my wife and I could use this flitch for our Christmas dinner, but since you all seem so eager for it, I'll give it up, on one condition. I want the quern behind the door in return." At first, the devil refused and haggled over the price, but in the end, the poor brother stuck to his demand, and the devil gave up the quern. After leaving hell, he went back to the old man, who showed him how to handle the quern. The poor brother thanked him and hurried home. He reached his door just as the clock struck midnight on Christmas Eve. "Where have you been all this time?" cried his wife. "I've been waiting for hours, and we don't even have 2 sticks to rub together for the Christmas stew." "Oh, I've been far and wide," the man replied, "but you'll see what I've brought back." He placed the quern on the table and told it to grind candles, then a tablecloth, then meat, and ale, all the Christmas essentials. One by one, the quern ground out everything they needed. His wife was astonished, blessing her luck, and kept asking where he had found such a marvelous thing. But the poor man was tight-lipped. "Never you mind where it came from," he said. "Just know that the mill never runs dry." They had enough food and drink to last until 12th night, and on the 3rd day, the poor brother invited friends and family for a grand feast. When the rich brother saw the lavish spread and the fully stocked larder, he grew green with envy. "Just a few days ago," he said, "he was begging me for a scrap of food, and now he's giving feasts fit for a king." He turned to his brother and asked, "Where in hell's name did you get all this?" "From behind the door," said the poor brother, refusing to reveal more. But as the night wore on and drink flowed freely, he couldn't keep the secret any longer. He pulled out the quern and showed it off. "There. This quern has given me all my riches." And with that, he demonstrated its powers, making it grind whatever he wished. The rich brother, filled with greed, insisted on buying the quern. After much pleading, he finally convinced the poor brother to sell it, but only after paying a hefty price of $300. The poor brother agreed but kept the quern until hay harvest, thinking he could use it to grind enough provisions to last for years. When the time came for the rich brother to take the quern, he got it home but had no idea how to use it. The next morning, while his wife was in the field, he decided to use the quern to prepare lunch. He placed it on the kitchen table and commanded, "Grind herrings and broth, and grind them fast." The quern started grinding at once. First, it filled all the dishes, then the tubs, then the entire kitchen floor. The rich brother tried to stop it, but no matter how much he twisted and turned it, the quern kept grinding. Soon, the entire house was flooding with herrings and broth. In a panic, he ran out of the kitchen, but the flood of broth followed him. Desperate, he fled to his brother's house. "For God's sake, take back the quern," he cried. "If it grinds for even one more hour, the entire village will be swimming in herrings and broth." The poor brother agreed to take it back, but only after the rich brother paid him another $300. And so, the poor brother kept the quern, growing even richer, while the rich brother was left poorer than ever. As for the quern, it continued to grind out wealth and wonders, and its fame spread far and wide. Sailors passing by would anchor their ships just to catch a glimpse of the rich man's house gleaming with gold by the sea. One day, a skipper, hearing of the quern's magical powers, visited and asked, "Can it grind salt?" "Salt," replied the poor man. "It can grind anything." Desperate to avoid the long voyages to gather salt, the skipper begged to buy the quern. After much negotiation, the poor brother finally agreed, but the skipper was in such a hurry to leave, he forgot to ask how to stop it. Out at sea, the skipper commanded, "Grind salt, and grind it fast." The quern obeyed, filling the ship with salt. But when the skipper tried to stop it, he couldn't. The quern kept grinding and grinding until the ship sank under the weight of the salt, and to this day, it lies at the bottom of the sea, endlessly grinding salt. That's why the sea is salty.